Welcome back. In this tutorial, we're going to look at text entities and how you can link media or recordings to become voiceovers for text within your game. Now, you can see we're back to our Touch the Darkness story here in Story Info. I want to show you that I have now uploaded a media file, Raven intro, and I've categorized it as a voiceover. And in fact, if I do a little here, so it's the introduction to the Raven here. So I'm going to replace the introduction, Stacy's introduction, and I'm going to use this voiceover, and we're going to also add some other text entities just to sort of show how that all works. So I've entered into the text entities editor here, and you'll recall that this was the introduction for Stacy's introduction. So you are unable to escape. So we're going to change that now. We're going to select the first little bit of our famous quote from Poe. Love that poem. And I'm going to link up this text with some media. So the voiceover that we selected earlier. So I'm going to link that. And then I'm going to select something else and go back. And you can see now that I've associated with this particular text this audio file. And I can, just like before, play it on down there. So whenever we encounter this text, we should hear this voiceover. And you can pretty much attach any degree of text to that. Any kind of, usually for descriptions or messages and clues. We'll show you that sort of in a little bit. What's great about the text entities here, so you can see all of the text within your game. You can do a search for, if you're looking for one particular term, let's see, Queen. So maybe you want to make her the Duchess of Darkness or something like that. I don't know. So, all right, so let's go back to this. I'm going to add in a little bit of extra text here. Let it get you, Stacy. Let's save that. Okay. So what's great is you can see the last changed. So I can filter down to see sort of what's changed today. All of this stuff has been entered in today, though, so it's not going to really show me anything. And you can see some of what the text is used for. Location names, descriptions. It might look a little funny, but we'll get some better text in there to sort of display how that works. So, what I want to do with a text entity is link up this word with the entity of princess, so that you'll see whenever you hover over that text, it will give you the information about the princess. And the same with the darkness here as well. So for this introduction text, I'm going to select princess and move it over, and darkness and move it over. And you can see that these are characters in your world. There's also the locations. Pretty much these are all the different things that you can link up as text within your game. So I'm going to select princess over here, and then I'm going to select the entity princess here, and then I'm going to use the selected text. So now you can see that this text here is associated with that entity, the princess. And in actual fact, when you see this introduction in the game, this will be this will be red, meaning it's a character, person. And if you hover over it, you'll get the little bio on the princess. You'll see her picture as well. So let's do the same for the darkness. I'm going to select darkness here. I'm going to select the text. And I use the selected text, and there we go. So now we've got the darkness selected. It links up there, so you'll see that evil angel demon thing, whatever the picture that was. And this is kind of an interesting start for our game. And we've also got the intro text that's going to play as well. So just looking overall at the text entities that are in here, you'll see there are a whole bunch of filters. Anything that has a checkmark in entity means that it has some text entities placed within that text. So that can help you narrow it down. Clues or messages tend to be the most... they have the most text usually with them, and that makes for a very good thing for which you could place text entities. We'll get into clues in another tutorial, and also what the always show and no notebook means for, but in particular to clues. So let's go in the game and see what our new introduction looks like and the new sound file. And we start in. There's our voiceover, a little bit of Poe, and we can see our text entities now that link up to various characters in the game. If I go back to starting information, we see that we only still have the princess, but we're now linked up to darkness as well. So what effect does that have? Let's go into our story. So if I see people down here, you'll see that I know the princess. I know she's in the evil marketplace. I also know the darkness. And if you think about that, going back to the briefing, the only starting information I was given was the princess. And now I know about the darkness, which makes sense if you think about it, because to be able to link this text with that entity, you've got to know the entity. So because of the way we wrote this introduction, I was given an extra bit of information about this character, the darkness character. So that's how text entities can help you reveal more clues, and it also lets you remember or associate the character with that particular bit of text, which can be great if you have a lot of characters in your story to be able to track them all. But just remember, text entities are outside of your starting information. You might introduce more information than you know because of what you write in that text. So that's just a great overall introduction to text entities. And sort of how you can link that up with the characters in your game. In the next tutorial, we'll get into map making. We're going to look at nesting maps together to make more interesting and more complicated worlds than what we've looked at. And that will lead the way into even more complicated with buildings and so on down the road. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.